Welcome back to Squawk. Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic, they're all teaming up with the American Federation of Teachers to offer free AI training to AFT members. The $23 million initiative is going to focus on AI tools for K through 12 educators. Joining us right now is Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers. Good morning to you. AI, of course.
Good morning.
All sorts of controversy about how teachers should use it, how students should use it. Tell us about at least how this program is going to be implemented.
Right. So thank you for having me on. And, you know, I'm a big skeptic, and I think you need to be a big skeptic to engage in this work. The problem is that nobody in government is really helping teachers, or frankly, any other public employees, in trying to figure out how to use these tools, use them wisely, safely, and ethically. And at the same time, as you know, Andrew, the big bill almost had a provision that preempted states from having any regulation whatsoever about tools or about AI. So over the course of the last couple of years, we have taken it in our own hands. We've worked with Microsoft and OpenAI. Anthropic is a new partner. And we've said, let's figure out how to have a voice in all of this. And the teachers and paraprofessionals really want it. There's questions, there's concerns, you know, the question of, is it the GPS system or is it a driverless car? But we thought it was really important to actually offer training in a real way to virtually all of our members who want it. And we thought it was really important to do it place-based. We have done it once a summer with Microsoft and OpenAI the last 2 summers, but there's a real need. Nobody's filling it. So we thought, let's work.
Tell us, though, the position of the union on AI in terms of the following. There are some teachers I know that are afraid, maybe appropriately, maybe not, about how AI could effectively one day take their jobs. There's other people who are super excited about it and say, look, there's an opportunity here for every single student to have the equivalent of individualized tutoring, if you will, in a remarkable way. So, for example, do you believe that students should be able to, and teachers should allow, and the whole thing should work where you could record an entire class, if you will, create your own notes out of those classes? Some people think that's a great idea because it could help the student. I know teachers who think that's going to do me out of a job.
So, number one, there are lots of things I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of AI doing teachers, K through 12 teachers, out of jobs. We've already had these kind of situations where people have tried to replace the human being. I am concerned about issues like safety and privacy and making sure that we regulate deep fakes and also making sure that we deal with intellectual property. But what teachers are clamoring for, Andrew, is the tools so that they use AI wisely, safely, and ethically. And in the absence of other people doing that, we thought that the way in which you deal with these fears is you actually have real training, and you do it with the developers who have developed some of the products. Now, this is not everyone this is not everybody in tech. We chose the people that we worked with. And frankly, we've been working with Microsoft as part of an AFL-CIO partnership for the last 3 years. So what teachers actually want is they want to be able to reduce paperwork. What teachers actually want is they want the creativity that AI can help with in terms of developing games. They want it for helping to develop lessons. But, you know, I've been through, as I'm sure you have over the last 20 or so years, with technology attempting to replace intellectual capital and in teaching and learning. And we have to actually fight that. You need a human being in teaching. But the bottom line is, if you don't have the training, you don't know the questions to ask.
Well, so the interesting dynamic, though, that I just wonder about is,
We've done
teachers.
this. Sorry,
Right.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you've in your show a couple of years ago, I came on with the first version of this guardrail that we've done, and we're trying to get governments to actually adhere to these kind of guardrails and do that kind of stuff. So we come to it as skeptical but hopeful.
The question I would ask is, teachers, as far as I can tell, often feel overwhelmed. They do. And they've got a lot of work to do both in the classroom and then outside of the classroom. And whether it's, grading homework or talking to parents or all of the things. And this could be very, very helpful in that, in terms of cutting down on some of that time. The question, therefore, then becomes, though, when some principal or somebody else at a school says, well, look, you have now a lot more time than you had before. You used to have 5 classes. I want you to double up, or I want you to load you up with 6 classes a day, or whatever it is, and how you would treat that, Randy.
So, Andrew, having the difference between having some more time, say maybe it's half an hour a day, I've seen some studies of the potential for that, versus so that you can actually deepen your knowledge, you can actually have ongoing conversations with kids, you can have project-based instruction, you can do those kind of things. That's a good thing. To try to make teachers into an assembly line, that's a bad thing. And so ultimately, this is about trying to both enrich, do things, have the positives of AI, but also guard against the negatives.
Okay. Hey, Randy.